Hey BookTube, Chelsea the Reading Outlaw here to do another Top 5 Wednesday. My apologies in advance if I am not sounding the best. It is allergy season. The allergies have come upon us, so I'm fighting with that a little bit, but let's talk tropes, shall we? Today's Top 5 Wednesday was brought to us by the lovely Ginger Reads Laney, as is every Top 5 Wednesday. So I will link both her channel and the Goodreads group down below. Today's Top 5 Wednesday is the top 5 tropes that you hate the most. Not too long ago, I don't remember if it was last week or the week before, she did top 5 tropes that you love. So today we're talking about the ones we don't. I'm going to start off with probably my most obvious one, and it's also the only one I don't have a book for, and that is the trope of the manic pixie dream girl. I'm sure I'm going to be seeing that on a lot of lists when I watch other people's videos today. I don't like it. I don't like them. I don't like her. I feel like they're easy character cop-outs. The biggest example of this I can think of in a book is Armada by Ernest Cline. And this is just basically when that like perfect geek girl shows up and she's quirky and maybe she's a little clumsy and she's nerdy and she knows all these pop culture things, but she's also like super cool and, just super like go with the flow and all of these things. And so, not really super into that, but the counterpart to that, and this one I do have a book to actually show you, is the manic pixie dream guy. I don't know if that trope has like an actual term, but that's just what I call it. And the man, this is This Lullaby, Sarah Dessen. The main guy in this book's name is Dexter, and as much as I love the book, this whole trope of the manic pixie dream guy also really bothers me, which is, as you guess, very much so in the same vein of the manic pixie dream girl. They show up, and for the main character, they are perfect, they are quirky, they are out of the box, they are not what is to be expected. They usually have like indie taste in bands, or they really like old movies, or they're super into like vintage video games or something that's like noticeably quirky about them, but they kind of lack like depth in other areas. So like I said, I just think that that's a cop out. I think it's lazy character building. I don't particularly care for it. The next trope that I have is not specifically against the Hunger Games, because I actually loved the Hunger Games and I thought it worked really well here, but I do blame the Hunger Games for sparking off what has essentially been the decade of the dystopias, in my opinion. I am so sick of YA novels set in a dystopian landscape. Like, I'm so sick of it, guys. I think dystopians are slowly becoming one of the biggest tropey cop-outs that you can come across. There's just so much that comes with a dystopia that is almost already built in, that I feel like if you want to be super lazy and skip the world building, it's really easy to just be like, oh, it's a dystopia, and then people can kind of bring their own stuff to that. And like I said, I think Suzanne Collins actually did it really well. But since then, I've seen some other people do it not so well, that I'm just over it. No more dystopias, people. No more dystopias. Also, no more trilogies. That's not a trope, but I don't like it. Let's just cut it out, guys. Use one book to tell one story unless you absolutely have to. We can see through the gimmicks and we know you just want our dollars when you're splitting an unnecessary book into more than one. So stop doing it. The next trope that I have is anywhere where sexual assault or anything resembling sexual assault is used as a plot tool. I don't really know if I need to say more. There are several scenes and instances in this book where that happens. I also don't think that you can justify it culturally, saying like, oh, that's just how it was back in like 15th century Scotland. Men hit women and almost raped them, but like that's still not okay. It's not okay. We can talk about how it was like that without actually saying that it was okay that it was like that. And rape isn't a plot point, guys. It's not. It's really not. And I wish that we would stop using it as one. And lastly, what are we up to now? Is that 4? Lastly, this one, this is kind of a big one, but I'm willing to accept responsibility for that. I am getting a wee bit tired of the trope of fantasy set in medieval Europe. Um, this one, to be fair, this one I feel like is more about the appearance that the trope gives everybody else. Like I don't like that when I tell somebody that I'm super into fantasy, they immediately talk to me about elves or wizards or orcs or goblins or things of that nature. Things that all kind of come from this Lord of the Rings esque, pseudo Britannian, Arthurian kind of environment. And while I get why they think that, I always just want to shake them and be like, fantasy is so much more than that. And there's so much more to it. And there are some things that don't have anything to do with elves or the forest or anything European. And so that is something that I wish more fantasy books would get away from. There are several that do, but I'm always taking recommendations for more. I know that Nanette Okafor and Octavia Butler and people like this do non European centered fantasy, but at the same time, I would like to see even more of that happening. So that's my fifth and least favorite, or well, I guess they're kind of all my least favorite. That's my number five for today's Top 5 Wednesday of least favorite tropes. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. I actually really like when we do dislikes or like most favorite, least favorite kind of things, like worst things. So thank you, Talina, for giving us such a good topic this week. Other than that, I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys around the internet. Bye.